Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, the formula for a perfect pricing strategy, how to handle seasonal slowdowns in your business, and a couple of Aussie blokes show it's not just polite to share, but profitable too. Hello, welcome to Kochie's Business Builders. We have a cracking show ahead of us today. Some fascinating businesses, including GoGet, a terrific example of collaborative consumption, which is the new dynamo in the small business arena. It's worth waiting for. In the meantime, news you can use. And would you believe half of all Australians will receive a work-related phone call from a colleague while they're on holidays. And the worst thing about that, a quarter of those calls will cause a conflict with your partner or your family while on holiday. Look, taking a clean break from work is just essential for us to recharge the batteries. The secret is in the preparation. So before going on holidays, make sure you go through a thorough handover with your colleagues and then go cold turkey. Believe me, you will come back a new person. Now, the biggest challenge in business today is getting pricing right. Getting the right pricing for products and services to sell to customers. Get it wrong and you'll go broke. So, how do you price right? Let's find out. Hiwa started Motifex, his audio and video recording business 5 years ago. He's got some loyal customers, but is struggling to identify the right pricing point for his services and attract new takers. Our pricing guru, Julia Bickerstaff, comes to the rescue to explain the do's and don'ts of building the right pricing strategy.
Pricing is a big issue for a lot of businesses. How have you been going about your pricing?
I've been trying to basically find the right way to not to be at the bottom top or like from top bottom, or just somehow that I can beat my competitors and at the same time not to be sounding very cheap as well.
So just about setting prices, I normally look at it at covering your costs, first of all.
Yes.
And that's a very interesting point because a lot of small businesses don't cover their costs very well. And the second way we look at it is through competitors. What does everyone else charge?
Yes.
And the third way is a way that you already touched on, which was about customers and what they expect to see for a price. So have you had a look at sort of what your costs are and what your sort of minimum price would need to be to cover your costs and make a profit?
It is very difficult. Being a creative and a musician, I usually spend more time than what I'm supposed to do. And that's the part actually I usually have to omit because people don't really care about that. What they want is just a final product.
So what I would do is absolutely, so look at all the fixed costs, the costs of, this fantastic setup you've got here, and work out what an annual cost for that would be. And then work out roughly sort of how many hours a year you'll sort of operate in the business. So then, the total number of hours of the year are available and you could apportion it that way. And then have a real think about your time, because everybody sort of undercuts their time. And that will give you a sort of quite chunky number, and that's a number you can't go below. It's not the number you should set your price at, because we'll look at that in a minute of other things, but it's a number that you know that if you set it less than that, you're not going to make money.
Yes.
Then the next one is you look at what your competitors are doing. And, I'm sure you've got a big band of competitors, and there's some at the top end to price pretty highly, I'd imagine, and there's probably some, cowboys down here that are very, very cheap, and you just can't work out how they can do it for that. Right. And the important thing for you is to decide where do you want to fit into that spectrum? Where do you think is the right place to be, given the service that you're offering? Pricing is something that customers look at, but it's not the only thing that they look at. And the very interesting thing is that people often judge the quality of something by the price. And some people won't come because they actually won't buy the cheapest. So it's better to focus on, you know, the fantastic things that you do and why you're different and why your price is the price it is. So the third thing that you need to think about is who are those customers that you actually want to come here, that you are doing this for. And look at what they think of is, you know, affordable. How do they measure the value of something? So people might spend $60 on grooming their dog. So a hairdresser could have a look and see, well, they pay $60 for dog grooming, so I can spend $240 grooming them because they're going to spend a lot more on themselves than they are their dog. And it's a way of thinking about the customer, thinking, what other things does your customer spend its money on? And what level are they choosing to help you put yourself in the right buckets?
It really doesn't seem that hard to follow that sort of pricing model, does it? If you want more tips from Julia on how to price your products and services correctly, go to the website, it's all there. Coming up, transforming a seasonal slowdown in your business into a profitable future.
Stompin' is a youth dance company, and we create an environment where young people grow as individuals through their connection with dance. Our previous website wasn't very easy for me to use as far as manipulating the information, so uploading new and current information all the time, and I often had problems and needed quite a bit of support. KBB Web in a Box is really easy, and you feel quite empowered using it too, because you can just go in there anytime and update information, and that's really important for Stompin'. KBB Web in a Box is brilliant, and I'd like to stay using it for as long as I'm working with Stompin' and any other business I work with in the future.
To start your free trial today, go to kbbinabox.com.au. Well, now that the madness of Christmas and New Year is behind us, a lot of businesses go into a seasonal slowdown and end up being as quiet as this street. Sales slump, cash flow dries up. Rather than panic, use this period to build opportunities for the future. Here's how. Bridestow Lavender Estate is one of the world's largest lavender farms and a popular tourist attraction in Tasmania. But with only 2 months of flowering each year before the harvest, how do they keep the revenue coming in all year round? Well, sales expert Rick Martin finds out.
Now, there's purple just about everywhere we look, and these fields are full of lavender. That's right. Now, how often does that flower throughout the year?
Once a year.
Once a year, and for how long?
Once a year, for 2 months.
So we've come just at the right time?
You have picked the day perfectly, yes.
OK, so that definitely shows that you're a seasonal business.
Yeah.
That's got to present some challenges.
Presents real problems because the public want to see it, and yet we need to harvest it when it's at its best. So we simply supplement all of our activities here with other site activities so that there's always something. We've done massive plantings. If you take a walk around the site, you'll see landscaping with all kinds of indigenous and imported flora. We have massive displays of bulbs in spring, beautiful flowering weeping cherries and what have you. So gorgeous in spring, gorgeous in autumn, beautiful in winter, because the scenery out there in wintertime is just simply, it's ethereal and lovely. And the ice creams, of course. We have been conscious of the fact now that many tourists come just to have an ice cream, and we ask them how on earth did they ever find out about it. And
well, this interview may get cut short, so I can go and have some lavender ice cream
well,
very shortly.
Somebody 4 or 5 years ago blogged it to China, and now China is more aware of our lavender ice cream than it is about Bridestow Estate. So it comes to Tasmania to seek out the ice cream, and they're blown away by the rest of the surroundings.
What else has been a real hit around the world?
We've been quite resourceful, I believe, in positioning dried lavender in a variety of products, albeit something you can eat in the cafe or something as sophisticated as the Bridestow bear.
Here is the Bridestow bear. Now, he's not just cute, but he's got functionality too.
He has functionality,
now,
that's right.
He smells good, and it's pretty much that same sort of smell you get as you come up the driveway.
That's
but
right.
What else is unique about it?
When we took the business over, there was an accumulation of dried lavender that no one wanted, and we couldn't find any cost-effective way to dispose of it except composting it. And we had a look around, found ideas, assembled them in that bear, and that's about iteration number 5. It's taken a long time to get the thing tough, robust, and to make it globally transportable.
So how many of these have you sold, Robert?
Last year, 12,000.
Wow.
All hand-finished on the property.
That's amazing. So we know that diversifying your revenue stream throughout the year can certainly help with those ups and downs, but wanting to keep the brand very clear as we do that. We don't want to clutter with too many different products. But you have actually extended your product outside of a tourism aspect to actually become quite a large exporter, is that correct?
Yes, we have. We're a very significant exporter now, relative to the size of the business, and we were actually Tasmanian Exporter of the Year in 2010. So we kick-started the business with export. And through the export, through the branding and export, we've been able to engage with the tourist market as well. So, you know, it's been a virtuous cycle. We then created sub-brands under the Bridgestow umbrella, and there were Bridgestow Gourmet, Bridgestow Spa, Bridgestow Home, Bridgestow Originals. And in the gourmet range, for instance, we have wonderful honey. So we've now got hives around the site. We have honey processing plant on the site now.
So you've actually utilised the downside to be able to pick up some momentum in the business.
Absolutely.
Creating new products that will keep it at top of mind throughout the year and then help to perpetuate that cycle of bringing in more tourists at other times.
Yes, indeed.
And then it all starts over all over again.
All goes over and over again, yes.
So, Robert, some of the tips that we can take from your story for other businesses, clearly around those foundations, refining the brand, and you can do that in those down times where you're not quite so busy.
Yes.
You've listened to what your customers want, and you've looked at those seasons and you've been able to engage your team by adapting their roles throughout the year.
Absolutely.
So refine the brand, engage the team, delighting the customer. You're certainly doing that by providing them things that they would love to talk about, but also understanding how you can create some great opportunities out of little challenges as well, and then accelerating great word of mouth. And you're certainly putting those opportunities forward, but with such a great product, if you deliver on the customer expectation and do it well, then they will be speaking for you, and they certainly seem to be doing that.
Thank you. They do, and that's really powerful stuff.
It's a fascinating and beautiful business, isn't it? And isn't it amazing that the lavenders only flower for a short period of time, which has meant they've had to build alternative revenue streams which have been hugely successful. We can all learn from it. See more of the interview on our website. After the break, we hear the Go-Get story and how they've exploded across the nation. Subscribe now to the Kochie's Business Builders app, delivered to your mobile device on a fortnightly basis. You'll get the very latest advice from the KBB team of experts and also exclusive interviews with Australia's most successful entrepreneurs. Download now by searching for Kochie's Business Builders on the App Store. This competition is brought to you by Yellow Pages. Could your business really benefit from some advice? Thanks to Yellow Pages, you could win a 1-hour business session with me in your closest capital city. All you need to do is tell us in 25 words or less how your business could benefit from a one-on-one chat. To enter, go to the Kochie's Business Builders website and click on the Yellow Pages competition to submit your details and your answer. Back in 2003, two Aussie blokes came up with a scheme to share a car with a neighbour. 1,000 vehicles and 25,000 members later, Nick Lowe and Bruce Jeffries operate Australia's biggest car share company. It is a huge success story, and Nick Lowe is our Entrepreneur of the Week. Take us back to the very beginning. How did you come up with the idea?
So Bruce and I met in a cafe in Newtown, and he'd heard about the idea from Germany and was trying to get government to do it. I said, let's just do it ourselves. We'll try it out, we'll make an experiment. And we went to Newtown Festival, got 12 starting members, and then I had an old ute, and Bruce had an old station wagon, and we borrowed a car from a dealer, and we set it up around the Newtown area.
So just explain how it works.
Okay, so we give you a special Go-Get card. You join as a member, and then when you want to take a car, you book it with your phone or on the internet. You walk up to the car at the time you booked it, swipe your card across the windscreen. You take the car, drive it around responsibly, drop it back to where you had it, and then tag off. And you'll get a bill at the end of the month, much like a mobile phone.
But the logistics of it.
Yep.
You're parking quite a big ticket item on the street in a designated car park. First of all, how did you work with the councils to get them to agree to give you your own car space?
It took ages. It took almost 5 years for some councils, and some councils still don't get it. But every single one of our cars replaces around 7 to 8 private vehicles. So the idea is if you're living in an area like Newtown or Glebe or an inner city area where parking's at a premium, if you own a car that you only use every now and again, it's much better that you share a car that gets used all the time with 7 or 8 of your neighbours, or 25 of your neighbours in our case. Right. And so that one car serves 25 people as opposed to one car serving one person.
So it started out as sort of this collaborative consumption, a couple of people sharing a car. Now over 1,000 cars getting into fleets with business.
That's right.
Tell us about the extension into fleets.
Owning a car is a real pain for that small business, or even the medium business. You have multiple drivers using it, you can't track back the damage, you have to do different tax stuff on it, and really all you want is a car to get to your 2 or 3 hour meetings. And you need something that's convenient and close by. So the best thing these guys can do is get a business account, walk up to a car, swipe it, take it, drop it back.
You can see business really adopting this, because to have a company car, you've got to carry it on your books, you have all the depreciation, the liability. Cabs are incredibly expensive at the moment, and cab charge, the 10% commission is a rip-off. Perfect alternative.
Yeah, it's a perfect alternative to a company-owned car. And also it keeps it real for the company as well. We don't have flashy cars, like we might have 1 or 2 flashy cars out of 1,000. But it keeps it real for the company. So if the company wants to, say, make a statement, we want to cut costs, we want to keep it real for everyone, join GoGet, give all the employees cards, and suddenly you can get rid of your Lexus or whatever it is, and you can get the person to just do an A to B trip, which is what it's about. It's not about arriving in style, it's about arriving.
Now, you've just done a big deal with IKEA, though, with the vans, to base them at a store to test it out. That's a big step for you.
Yeah, IKEA wanted an alternative to their home delivery service, because IKEA is all about self-service. You get the thing, you build it yourself. Why shouldn't you be able to deliver it yourself? So we added, as an alternative to their mix, GoGet, and it seems to be working well.
So do you see that as the future of GoGet, different modes of transport?
Different modes, different business models of using cars and using other kinds of transport. We're really interested in those kind of approaches of integrating our service into other complementary modes.
In 2011, Time magazine said collaborative consumption was one of the 10 ideas which was going to change the world. And if Nick and Bruce's success is any indication, I reckon they're right. Coming up next, it's time for Ask Kochie, where we answer your burning business questions.
This business tip brought to you by Yellow Pages.
People love ratings and reviews. Did you know that 68% of Australian social media users read online reviews or blogs, and on average, internet users read 5 reviews before making a purchase decision? Your business should really embrace online ratings and reviews to get more leads. Reviews are great for taking your reputation online. Being talked about in reviews means there's more information about your business on the internet, making you easier to find on search engines. Getting customers to write testimonials provides money can't buy endorsement, which encourages new customers to give your business a try. Reviews establish a two-way relationship, and feedback, both positive and negative, can really influence your business strategies. If you receive a bad review, turn it into an opportunity. First by apologising, then showing your customers you really care and acting quickly to rectify the issue. Head over to yellowpages.com.au for more information.
Now to answer some of your questions, and this one from Martin. I'm having trouble securing funding for my new business. What government assistance is available to startups outside of grants? Well, Martin, the new Enterprise Incentive Scheme, or NEIS, is your best bet. It provides 12-month income support, rental assistance, mentoring, and even education. You get a certificate at the end of the time. Now, to qualify, you need to be receiving some sort of government assistance. What a lot of people do is that they quit their existing job, then apply for unemployment benefits to start up their new business. And that's a great way of doing it. Now, check with the people at your local Job Start centre or through the business enterprise centres, and they have all the details for you. It is a terrific scheme. Well, that's all we have time for today's show. Don't forget to take advantage of the KBB webinar box to get your business online, and it's also mobile enabled. Details on the website. Catch you next time. Thanks to our friends at Microsoft Office 365, Business Builders has a series of 3 live, absolutely free webinars coming up over the next couple of weeks. I'll be quizzing a panel of experts on making sure your business is at the cutting edge of technology and productivity tools, and I'll be putting your questions to them. So get your questions ready and register now for the first live webinar, Wednesday, 27th of February, midday. Next week on KBB, starting up, how to take an idea and turn it into a profitable empire, planning for emergencies in your business, and champion Sydney to Hobart skipper Mark Richards explains the secrets to his business success.